A number of years ago, my daughter got married in Massachusetts. So I went to Massachusetts for the wedding, and I stayed with the Veterans for Peace in Massachusetts. And while I was staying at the Veterans for Peace house, I noticed that they had these peace poetry books. So I started reading them, and they were just great. And they were just poems by kids, and I remember one of them was from a little girl and said, "I'm really glad the summer's coming. My brother's going to my grandmother's house for the summer, and we'll finally have peace." And I just loved it. And so I thought we could do this in Gainesville. So I came back to Gainesville, and I talked to Veterans for Peace, and we started the Peace Poetry Contest. And I really enjoy reading the poems. It's nice to see what's important to the kids. In this day and these times, freedom of expression is getting quashed by our government. And so it's really important to allow these children a opportunity to express themselves freely. And not only the opportunity to do it freely, but to learn that it's okay to express yourselves. And so that's why the Peace Poetry Contest is so important to me. The Peace Poetry Contest are for kids K through 12. The Peace Scholarships are for seniors in high school and for beginning college students. And that's a $1,500 scholarship that we give based on how much we can afford. Some years we can afford to do 4 of them, which would be $6,000, and when we have less money, we do 3 of them. And Paul Ortiz is in charge of that. So Paul Ortiz gets the word out to the students, and he gets the applications, and he goes through the applications, and he picks out the best ones, the most deserving ones. It's just a great event. It empowers the young people. It's really important for them to understand that their opinions matter.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Skylar, and I am a former entrant of the Veterans for Peace Poetry Contest, and your MC for this evening. I am honored to be a part of this project last year and excited to see all the young poets participating. Now, I would like to invite Damian Nilet to give a short welcome.
Hello, everybody. Wow, I'm excited. Who else is excited? By show of hands, who has been here before to this event? Few. Notice my hand is not up. I have not been to this event before. This is my first, so I'm super excited about that. I have not been involved with VFP for that long, only the last couple of years. Recently voted in as the vice president, though, so happy to be here, happy to support this organization. What I really need to pass along to you today, right away, is that I've been involved with nonprofits in this area for quite a while, And as soon as I got involved with this one, I noticed that the support in the community was very strong and has a long history. And why that's important is because they actually give back far more than any other nonprofit that I've been involved with. They're almost like the United Way, but the veteran version. So pretty much, proportionally speaking, they give back roughly 90% of what they take in to the community at events like this, with our Peace Poetry event and Peace Scholarship event, award ceremony. So specifically, they get most of that funding and support through their annual winter solstice concert that they do in December every year. So the next one is coming up in December. That'll be our 39th. So this is an organization that's been around for a long time. Many of you have probably been to that event, so we hope that you'll show up for the next one, our 39th. And like I said, all the proceeds from that event go to events like this and the scholarships. So we really greatly appreciate you going to that event and for showing up to this one and for your continued support throughout the year. Anything else? One more time, who's excited? Thank you.
Thank you, Damien. First, I would like to thank Victoria Griffin for her wonderful music. She will be our musician for this evening. And I would also like to thank all the student poets who wrote poems and were interested in expressing their ideas about peace and social justice. All the poems submitted were extraordinary, lovely poems. Thank you as well to all the teachers, schools, and parents who encouraged their students to participate. The names of the participating teachers have been included in the poetry book. We had a great diversity of poets and poems. All areas of the county were represented, and the beautiful, powerful poems reflect the range of experience of our young poets. Once again, many spoke of nature and environmental themes, war and peace, racism, bias, and other social justice issues. The judges had a hard time narrowing down the number of poems you will hear today, as there are so many exceptional poems. The photos and video from today will be posted on the VFP website. They will also be posted on the UF Samuel Proctor Oral History Program YouTube channel when Deborah Hendricks, who has joyfully filmed every poetry reading for the past 13 years, is able to edit and post the video. Thank you, Deborah and the Oral History Program. After the poetry readings, we will have the awarding of the VFP Peace Scholarships, which is another project of Veterans for Peace. First, though, could all teachers, educators, and school board members who are here to support the students please rise? Thank you for coming and encouraging your students to participate. There will be a reception after the program. We would ask that all the poets and scholarship winners come back to the stage at the end of the program for a group photo. We will post that photo on our website, and in the past, the Gainesville Sun has published the group photo with all the names of the winning poets and scholarship winners and their schools in the Sun. We will follow the order of the poems being read as printed in the poetry book. We will read all of the names of the poets even if they were not able to come today. We would like to thank Unitarian Universalist Fellowship for hosting the poetry reading and the Unitarian Social Justice Committee for co-sponsoring this event. Thank you to UU member Aaron Parrish for running the soundboard today. Janet Davies will now talk about the Unitarian Fellowship.
Thank you, welcome. This Peace Poetry is part of our initiative to support Vets for Peace and our UU social justice. The vision is to have a just and compassionate society, an improved global economy, and a sustainable earth, starting in Florida. Our mission is to promote justice, equality, equity, and compassion in public policy, guided by our faith tradition and working with public interest groups and interfaith partners who work for the common good. As Unitarians, our congregations and communities are places for people of all ages, where they can thrive, helping us live with more wisdom, compassion, and soul. When we gather, we worship, we reflect, and we remind ourselves that what matters most in life. Rites of passage mark important times of growth and change. our social justice projects put our values into practice. We're a people of many faiths, many pasts, who are brave and curious and compassionate thinkers and doers. We're diverse in age, ethnicity, gender, and spirituality. And we come together to make a difference for our world and ourselves. We have different beliefs, but we share the same values. What unites us most is our 7 core principles: believing in the worthiness of every person, promoting justice, equity and compassion, accepting others for who they are, growing through a personal search for truth, honoring the right of all to act according to their conscience, working for justice, and understanding that everything is connected.
Thank you, Janet. I would now like to introduce Melanie Hagan. She will introduce the poets and their poems. I will give poets their poems and their certificates and their gift cards. If poets, once your names are called, please come up to this side of the stage. I will hand you your stuff. You can read here if you would like, and you can exit on that side of the stage.
Good afternoon. I think our first poet might not be here yet. Is Liam Dan here? He was going to be a little late, so we're going to move him to the end of the program, and we'll start with the next poet, Leo Mize. He has a charming poem about a familiar Bible study.
Noah, Noah, send the dove, find land dove for one and all. Pieces are fighting, animals have peace. Animals, oh animals, don't be scared. Send God and the angels and Noah too.
Thank you very much, Leo. That was lovely. Our next poet is Ella Perinello. She's a 2nd grader at Oak Hall School. And she wasn't able to make it here, but I think, I have a note, that her grandparents are here, but maybe they wanted us to read it. Oh, we'll read it. Wonderful. So we'd like to invite Ella's grandfather to come on up and read her poem for her. Oh, okay. Would you like me to read it? Okay. Okay. This is a lovely poem. Mother Earth, the quiet footsteps of peace tiptoed around her sleeping mom, adoring mom, especially snuggly mom. The girl wrapped her hands around her mom and said, I love you. So thank you. Such a joy to be able to read these poems. Okay, our next poem is called Peace, and it's by Damian Winter, a 2nd grader at Jordan Glen. And you can
Peace. Peace is love. Love keeps the family together. Together we can bring peace and love to the community. The community can bring peace and love to the world. The world needs our love and kindness. Kindness and love is a utopia.
Thank you, Damien. Our next poem is also entitled Peace, and it's by Gidget Bryn Gardner, who's a 4th grader at Trilogy School.
Outside in nature, alone and quiet, just how I like it. By myself, watching the moon, so silent, so quiet, just how I like it.
Thank you, Gidget. The next poem is called Housing, and it's by Phoenix Prentice, a 4th grader at Trilogy School.
I just wonder if they had a home, a person to care about, to not be alone. Without a doubt, it would be more fit. Maybe a worthier route would make them surpass it. And I just know they wouldn't pout or run around and be put out. If they were healthier, if you lent them a sweater, if you just ruminate on the fright of being outside at night, you would soon realize if they could, they would quit. It is not that easy to be so desolate.
Beautifully read, beautifully read. Our next poem is Liberty by Daphne Roxborough, a fourth grader at PK Young. Shall I go ahead and read her poem? Why not? Liberty. Justice in her lamp, quiet on her lips, representing America's greatness. Through that promise that has been broken many times, the promise of equality and kindness, let us liberate this country with kind and equal acts to rewrite a new liberty. Now, because one of our students has to leave in a few minutes, we're going to skip to The Mountain Race by Priya Sethi, a fifth grader at Oak Hall School.
War is climbing up the mountain, peace is far behind. Peace is getting lost in trance. Is peace growing old? War way ahead. Does this mean peace is dead? No, peace keeps going, with nature's help behind. And then peace climbs up the mountain, then it looks like war resigned. Peace brings people together, peace flows through the wind. Then a soldier walks through the breeze and gets the idea of peace. 4 months later, war goes tumbling down the mountain and peace finally wins. Now let peace take over this new world.
Okay, our next poem is Same on the Inside by Asaya Ahmed, a fifth grader from Oak Hall School.
Yes, I know. I'm different. Different as the sea calling to the dunes of the desert. Different like the grassy savanna and the coral reef. Different like salt and pepper shakers. Different like salt and sugar. One bitter, one sweet. Walking through the hallways, the roads, the streets, so isolated. They don't see. The buildings tower over me. Standing in their shadows, I'm still not free. Not free from the burden of hate or pain, hurtful comments like rain about my religion, my clothes, my hair, even my name, though it's so fair. Yet, I know my religion is peaceful. The words, its name, it gives me peace, it gives me air. The sound of Arabic on my tongue, my pink hijab in the sun, my Converse flopping on cement, a steady pace in every way. Laces tied, ready to dash, just in case I need to go fast. The dirty subway station on the side makes me huff and puff inside. I climb aboard a bald man and follows. His head is filled with scary things, skull's blood and other things that my mother would disapprove. People scatter away from him like rats and rodents. My heart is thumping as he draws nearer. I wonder if I look freer. Not even a word said to me. A swift move rips off this young girl's dream. I stand there suddenly, not moving an inch, not even a flinch. My thick black hair stands there blowing onto my face as the AC blares. The subway stops, I run, my Converse shiny in the sun. My thick black hair shining in the sun, I disappear in a convenience store. The owner just stares, wondering if I'm shopping for little bags, maybe candy, or American flags. I feel helpless, restless. To comfort the sad girl's dream, I think about life in me. My home and house on the other side, my grandma's cooking, my aunt's grand peacock, my mother's pearls, my brother's curls. I think about the mango trees, so high and tall, they're like me. And though I'm far, the scent lingers, the faint smell of jasmine lingers. And still, I wonder why they hate us so. We're just like them on the inside. They don't have to hate inside. Maybe if we both just try, we can rise, make friends inside. One day, I believe we can live up to equality. One day, we will all be the same within and be free. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was so beautiful. Our next poem is The Street by Apti Datak, a 5th grader at Oak Hall School.
We lay on turfs of privilege, frivolously frolicking, chatting away. You strolled on the street, please sir, God bless, the impoverished, squished and forgotten by the fist of society. She strolls down the street, begging for a penny or a nickel for her daughter cradled in gaunt arms. You meet her dark eyes, young yet withered, eyes that may have seen every terror the world has to offer. You sprint down the street. Guilt of greed chases you relentlessly. Guilt you know should be listened to. As you stroll down the street, their spines shiver through the winter, sweat running as a river through sweltering summers. We sit in our seats, selfishly whining, with anything and everything to ever be possibly asked for, scattered on the floor beneath our feet. We complain and we blame, and we negate the tragedies, while silver spoons are protruding through out of our lips. We think of their sanity as unworthy and their safety as unnecessary, while we keep in warm beds, waking up to a table where we are fed. In the mornings, as you stroll down the street, you are greeted with smiles from those who have faced the unimaginable. You stroll down the street, playfully giggling, as they solemnly pray to live another day. They are treated with such hostility. The sun frowns, darkening of disappointment. Flowers droop and wilt. The vibrancy of petals fall to the soil. While you stroll down the street, you turn a blind eye to a tearful tragedy occurring every long day, each frigid night, on every single street, on your very street.
Such wonderful talent we have here. The next poem is Searching the Stars by Vera Podolznik, a 5th grader at PK Young.
Maybe it isn't good to always be looking on the bright side, because if all you see is light, you won't see the improvements that can be made to you and the world. If you've noticed, in the dark, there's rain. This cry from the sky brings joy to the gardeners who are searching and eagerly waiting for the first bloom of spring, which means I will not be the gardener, because without people like me, there'd be too many people looking for a rainbow and not searching for the stars.
Beautiful. Okay, our next poem is A Dream with No Peace by Alexandria Williams, 5th grader from PK Young.
A dream with no peace. In a world where there is no peace, I am being tracked down. They are begging hard to snowstop and break in before they're stopped. I hide the stairs quiet as a mouse, afraid they find me and take me away. They're climbing up the steps with lots of floods. The doorknob jiggles and then I wake up. Relieved it was a dream and not a reality. The world still has peace. What a relief.
Our next poem is Peace in the Present by Tiara Freeland, 7th grader from Queen of Peace.
Peace frequently proceeds to go unjust. Such wording is not symbolized as its origin connotation. Repeatedly I observe my surroundings, and peace appears to be ephemeral or deceased. A lady consistently delightful and effervescent dispatches herself to hang by the knot of end. Children not older than I grow be cautious, survival seeming to be their only personality. This is peace? Corruption litters the minds of all those who seek more than given, while others barely receive. A lazy generation you are, is said by those who dishearten the fascination of young minds. This is peace? Those who serve are later seen wandering the streets. Please hear me speak. I say to you, we live in a decade where the graves we dug for ourselves seem not deeper than the darkest of thoughts and disturbed minds. Wars upon all, whether for land and freedom, safety from abuse and neglect, or dispute against your neighbor. Has the Lord our God not taught us to love each other as we love ourselves? When fate is due and peace will be visible in the light of his arms past the gates of heaven. Until then, we reside in a distraught world where peace must be an effort from all.
Thank you, that was beautiful. The next poem is Lantern of Peace by Zoe Lane, 7th grader from Queen of Peace.
Lantern of Peace. In a world trapped in darkness with no light to shed, the lantern of peace shines from ahead. Through this gloom, she winds her way through. Out of the crowd, her heart turns to blue. Was this the way life was supposed to go? Should I turn off my light and bring my joy low? I will follow the way God leads me to be. My lantern of peace will glow so bright, it will radiate the darkest nights. No cloud of shade will bring me down, because I can light up this whole town. So even in a world of danger and sorrow, be the light for others to follow. With my lantern in hand and God by my side, the lantern of peace will be my guide.
Our next poem is New Beginnings by Kayla Battle, an 8th grader from Kanapaha Middle School.
Pull it down a little bit. Thank you. A seed cracks concrete, a defiant green, pushing through the gray, a silent scream. Not a scream of terror, but a birth, a testament to their enduring worth, a soil long barren, now ready to bloom. The scales are tipped, a rusted groaning sound, weighted down by privilege tightly bound. But hands reach out, callous and strong, to life, the burden right, the ancient wrong, a collective heave, a shared determined will. Voices rise, a chorus in the street, a symphony of anger, bittersweet. Each story etched on faces young and old, a tapestry of pain bravely told, demanding recognition, demanding to be heard. Justice, a river dammed for far too long, bursting its banks, a powerful, surging song. Washing away the debris of the past, planting seeds of empathy that lasts, a future where all can drink and thrive and grow. The work is endless, the path is steep, but hope remains. Buried down deep in the shared humanity, the common ground, where justice blossoms and peace is found. A fragile promise whispered on the breeze.
Thank you. Our next poem is by Aiden Munford, who's an 8th grader at Kanapaha Middle School and wasn't able to make it here. It's untitled. Peace is the key to a lock that leads to respected opinions and kind souls. World peace is nearly impossible because not many people have opened the lock. The key is silent, as you have to find the peace. The peace won't find you. People don't like peace. They love it, but they never want to find it. The key is your mind, but the lock is society. Okay. Our next poem is by D'Anthony Postel, an 8th grader at Kanapaha Middle School.
Peace is the gentle yet loud dawn wind, a softly whispered prayer when the sun breaks in. A quiet river moving swiftly through the dark, changing all the shadows to the embraceful touch of light. It's the creeping silence of a lover's touch, the way two small hearts can know so much. A world where borders are impossible to divide, and where love and compassion are a graceful guide. Peace is the bird song on strong winds, the sweetness that is quiet but sings, a state of mind, a place of grace, where all souls find their home.
Our next poem is by Harry Zhang, a 9th grader at Oak Hall School. The shots will stop ringing in your ears, but is remembered forever.
Nature bears witness and the world will forget, but the bullet casings and bomb shells remain embedded in the ground, an everlasting reminder of the human race's greatest enemy, itself. Boys will learn to fight as men, willing or not, but they die boys nonetheless. Girls will bear the brunt of the militarization of masculinity. They will die too. Hell is a place of eternal suffering and pain, but war is worse because nobody deserves to be there.
Thank you. Our next poem is by Julian Gilbert, an 11th grader at PK Young. It's called Shine.
Shine. The ones who love their neighbors are the ones who truly shine. I recognize their courage as they bravely reach out their hands, even when they are afraid, overcoming their fears in order to soothe the worries of others. I embrace their kindness as they are selfless and always thinking of others. I witness their honesty as they show their raw emotions, their raw selves. I learn from their wisdom, constantly providing those around them with knowledge, filling us with priceless insight. I feel their impact, an impact so positive, so powerful that it could change this unmoving world. I appreciate their respect, which comes with no conditions. Above all, they bring a smile to my face and to the faces of those around them, even when our smiles are seemingly locked away. In short, their compassion and love for others makes them shine. Shine so brightly that it spurs us to mirror them, to love our neighbors with all our hearts. Thank you.
Beautifully read. Okay, and our next poem is Prejudice by Cy Strassnyder, 11th grader at Buchholz.
A prejudiced population wants me dead. They're but a percent, insignificant in the grand number of all that repent, but they represent a loud hatred which dwells before my people. Their gazes, crazed with violent hazes, make me feel naked, their prying eyes unwise, and I find myself wondering, when might it end? You are a bystander. You stand by while we are slaughtered, but why? Do you buy into their regime? You mean to say you'll stay aside while we are deemed unworthy of esteem? This is the American dream. White picket fences, right fascist offenses, repent for your sins, the house always wins. Individuality must not be expressed. Those ill-fitting are put to the extremes. If you do not abide by their schemes and their lies, grit your teeth and bear it. The beginning of the end of all that is righteous and all that is good starts here. There is no solace, no justice, no regret, nor remorse. There are 10 stages of genocide, and you have been blessed with 10 fingers to count them. You will find our blood years later, tucked into the crevice of your palm. It will never wash out.
Okay, I just want to check if Liam Dan is here. Or anybody? Okay, I'll go ahead and read his poem, which was the first poem. I am hopeful. I wonder if the world could be better. I hear fighting in the world. I see destruction. I want to stop it. I am a student. I pretend to help people. I feel sad that people lost their homes. I am hopeful. I touch peace. I hope segregation will end. I worry about things not being fair. I try to help others. I cry when people get hurt. I am a grandson. I understand things are hard. I say the world should be equal. I dream of peace. So, It was really a pleasure to be up here, to get to be one of the judges, and really a pleasure to get to be able to read that poem. That was by a second grader from Newberry Elementary School. So thank you to all the students and teachers. Is there anything else before the reception?
Yes. Okay. Can we please have another round of applause for our poets and all of our teachers? Now, Damian Nilet will present the Peace Scholarships to this year's recipients. We encourage all of you poets to apply for the Peace Scholarships when you are high school seniors.
Hello again. So we have 3 Peace Scholarships this year, each valued at $1,500. And the first one we're going to give away is to Kevin Savoy. He's going to stay up here for a second while I read something about Kevin. So Kevin is a first-generation college student enrolled at Santa Fe College, pursuing an AS. I got quite a bit. In digital media and technology. He's pretty awesome. In addition to working part-time to support his studies, Kevin is a leader in student government and the Justice Club. When the Florida State Legislature forced the disbanding of the My Brother's Keeper Student Success Program at Santa Fe, Kevin stepped up and, according to his faculty recommenders, helped recharter the Mu Beta Kappa, I don't know if I got that right, fraternal society that took over the role of providing academic support for working class African American males, students at the college. Kevin has helped organize Stop the Violence peace rallies, as well as using his digital media skills to produce a video documentary for the Peace Center for Girls in Gainesville. Kevin aspires to pursue a BA and to become a filmmaker. He writes, "Since childhood, I've had a love for storytelling and a deep appreciation for my Haitian culture. These passions have inspired my career goals, which is to tell powerful visual stories that educate, inspire change, and celebrate culture. I want to highlight the beauty and richness of underrepresented communities and help people see the world through a broader lens. Through documentary films, live broadcasts, and narratives, I plan to share voices that too often go unheard and bring awareness to the diverse experiences that shape our world." Kevin, amazing. Thank you. Okay, notes. Next up we have Tess Segel. Do this the proper way, military way. Thank you so much. No problem. Thank you. So Tess is a former University of Florida student who was pursuing a Bachelor of Science in Environmental Studies. She was the recipient of the prestigious CLAS Scholars Award in 2023. Her sponsoring faculty member wrote that in their 24 years of teaching at UF, Tess was among the most memorable and academically promising of the undergrads with whom they've collaborated. In the spring of 2024, Tess was arrested with 8 other UF students for participating in a peaceful campus demonstration in support of an immediate ceasefire in Gaza. The university subsequently suspended Tess, and she has been forced to pursue her education out of state. In Gainesville, Tess has been active in the Black Lives Matter movement, as well as the Civic Media Center and food security issues in working class communities. Tess writes, "As both a Jew and a sustainability studies student, I believe it is my duty to engage in tikkun olam," close enough, or world repair. For me, that means throwing a wrench in the works of colonization and militarism. rather than being a cog in those machines. As written in Perkai Avat, you are not obligated to complete the work, but neither are you free to abandon it. No individual person can achieve world peace, but all of us are obligated to act justly towards that aim. Thank you, Tess. Lastly, we have Kathleen Valenzuela. Kathleen is a political science and sociology major at the University of Florida. She writes, when Roe v. Wade got overturned, it became clear that fighting for autonomy and empowerment through women's reproductive freedom became the most critical way to support gender equality. From campaigns to nonprofit work, my dedication to this cause has inspired me to pursue diverse opportunities that engage with all facets of the issue. I first engaged with abortion access politics as a research intern for the Alachua County Democratic Party, where I wrote a comprehensive research paper analyzing diverse messaging approaches to mobilize support for Amendment 4. In this role, I synthesized existing data and literature into strategy recommendations for garnering support across diverse voter demographics. On UF's campus, I supported the Yesin For campaign by fostering critical dialogue that educated students on the amendment's language and purpose. This year, I began interning for Planned Parenthood, Florida as a public affairs intern. I assist in monitoring legislative affairs and crafting essential press communication materials like op-eds or LTEs to raise awareness against dangerous bills. I am currently leading efforts to create a legislative proposal for reinstating comprehensive sex education in Florida. Upon graduating, Kathleen hopes to work for a women's reproductive freedom nonprofit or policy institute after earning her master's in public policy. Amazing.
Congratulations to all of our scholarship winners. Thank you again for coming. If you would like to donate to VFP towards staging this poetry contest and our scholarships, please do so at the table in the back. Could the poets, scholarship winners, and victorious stand? Thank you for participating and for all the work you've done in the community. If you would like, could all poets, scholarship winners, and teachers please come to the stage for a quick photo, and please enjoy the reception that we prepared for you at the back. Have a great day.